Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Software Engineer K here, and today we're going to be covering Ecomi's token, OMI. We're going to be looking a little bit at their GitHub and just why it hasn't got that much on there. We're going to be looking at some of the news that they've announced, and one of the main pieces of news, a tweet that they had with regards to accidentally burning some tokens. So for those of you who don't know, OMI, they have a product called the Vivi wallet, and that is essentially kind of a store. It's an app. It was actually ranked number 4 on the Google Play Store this week, which is huge. It was right below Twitch, Disney, and Crunchyroll. And essentially, it is an NFT platform. They're aiming to be the top NFT platform for digital collectibles. And just to kind of add a bit more context and why, because I go out and I call out a lot of these scam coins, scam projects, and this is by far, you know, the exact opposite end. They've got Alfred Kahn, who's doing the licensing. He's the one who licensed Pokemon. Just to put that into perspective, Pokemon brings in about 800 billion a year in terms of products. So this has the potential to be huge. And if we do get Pokemon NFT, I believe this is the best chance. So they have licenses already with Warner Brothers, DC, Street Fighter, Capcom. You can kind of see here, Cartoon Network, Star Trek. A lot of these are pretty popular brands, and it got announced today on their Twitter as well. Well, there was Instagram posts as well with regards to NFL partnership licenses. So NFL is huge, and if they get NFL NFTs, as we've seen with the NBA, that's just been wildly ridiculous. You try and buy NBA Top Shots NFTs, and within 10 seconds there's 100,000 people in front of you in the queue for 5,000 packs. So that's a bit about OMI. So they had this tweet earlier this week, so 17th March, so that was about 3 days ago from today. They said that they had accidentally burnt, so there's 100 billion OMI taken out of circulation, and the circulating supply was about 400 billion set. They do have some in a vault which they're using for buybacks, and this was essentially done. The backstory is it was supposedly a mistake with the developers. They were sending OMI to a wallet which was it was malformed in some way. The address essentially just made it impossible to get the tokens back, so they essentially just considered it burned. Now, I did have a look at their GitHub that they had originally, and there was some interesting things that I picked up from there, and why I don't think it was done by accident. It is possible that it could have been done by accident, but whether it was done by accident or not, the 100 billion token burning, it doesn't really matter. So and I'll explain why. So here you can see on their GitHub, we've got Michael Duffy. I'm going to talk a little bit about him in a second, but they've only got this one repository, and this was code to do with essentially their crowd sale when they were doing the ICO. So there's some logic in there. I did have a look through the commits just to see if there was anything interesting I could pick up. So they got updates on, so they had it's obviously all on GoChain, and they just kind of had a look a bit on just what the logic was like. So they had the exchange rate logic for when they were selling OMI. So initially in the ICO stage, you had to use Ethereum to get OMI, as with many ICOs. So you can kind of just go in and kind of see the code in there. So you can see that they had set to constant the exchange rate at the time. That's quite interesting. I think it was a fixed exchange rate that they were using. It wasn't dynamic. And yeah, we can kind of just see here. This is just logging to the console. Like, this isn't actually code that's breaking or anything. Yeah, so I did have a look. It all seemed like any normal ICO. There wasn't too much in here. I believe that they probably moved their code base to a private repository, and I have said that if a company doesn't have a repository like public GitHub, I wouldn't invest in them. But Ecomi is a bit different because they've been around for a while now, and they do have a very, very strong team in terms of track record. Alfred Kahn, as soon as I saw that name, I was like, all right, this is legit. But this guy here, Michael Duffy, so he is kind of the main contributor to this repository, along with this guy, Davis, someone. I'm pretty sure he's probably still around. But I did have a look more into Michael Duffy. So he is actually the CTO. Now, this is an incredibly bullish sign for me because I am someone who believes that, if you have these CTOs, or anyone who's on a board of directors, if they're actually involved in engineering a project, that for me is a very, very good signal that this company is going to do well. And a good example of that is Tesla. Elon Musk, he actually knows from an engineering point of view, like how to push the company forward, how to make the product better, how to fix problems. Like he gets actively involved in SpaceX and the improvements, like learning from all of the explosions they have. Michael Duffy, he's no different. You can see his background. He's been in IT for a long, long time, and he's actively contributed to the code. He's got a PhD, in what's this, in interdisciplinary sciences from ITU. He's computer science graduate, as many software developers are. So from that point of view, like I have no issues with Ecomi. And back to the point on the burning of the 100 billion tokens. So I believe I don't want to go into conspiracy theories, but if we look back at with Tesla, when they showed off the Cybertruck and one of the windows smashed when it's supposed to be bulletproof, it got people talking about it. And all of that news, some people say there's no such thing as negative press, like press is press, and it generated a lot more search for the company. And we never really see wow, a company has accidentally burnt a quarter of their circulating supply. But the fact that they did that, and that was done on, if we look back at this tweet, they tweeted this on the 17th of March. On the 17th of March, we can see here the volume kind of gradually rose and rose and rose, and here we are on the 20th right now, and it's still going up. It's generated a lot of interest in OMI. People are like, oh, what's this company that's burnt all these tokens? Some people argue, okay, they burnt the tokens and then that caused the price to go up, and that's what generated, the increase in volume, because people are seeing the price just go up so much. But I think it's a mixture of both, and we can see that, the price has consistently been going up. I think for the past week, it's always been above the 7-day moving average, which is quite rare. And it's got a lot of steam left in it. I believe OMI will do well just because of the partnerships, the team, the project itself, and I have only seen good things from it. And yes, there is the NFT hype. I believe that will die down, and that will probably affect OMI, but for the amount of upside it has left, I think OMI will do very, very well. And from what I can see from the team, I am always very, very bullish when anyone on the board of directors is actually someone who works with it, who has actually contributed to the product, actively done something for the product, like Elon Musk. From the engineering perspective, he had helped actively contribute to Tesla, SpaceX. So the fact that the CTO has actively contributed to the development of OMI is not just someone who sits around and suggests non-feasible ideas. That's just made me a lot more positive. So I believe we're going to see some good things ahead, guys. So that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover. Thanks so much for watching. I'll keep you guys updated, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.